fire up the generator?
No, wasn't that serious.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
do we want to get serious and seriously record?
Yeah, how about we fire up the show? Not just the generator.
Alrighty. Since there's only 3 of us, which one of us is going to tell Chris to stop chewing?
Chris.
Okay.
Coyote O. That's the guy.
Coyote O.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemachamp or Lucky Track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of low-dollar endurance racing, whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough, and Chrissy actually arrives. We're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
I guess I go next.
No, Chrissy's at the airport.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thanks for coming back and listening to this is very particular to me, a Supersonic Blue Integra GSR episode of our podcast, episode 98. Because I had, as my first enthusiast car, really, a brand new Supersonic Blue 98 Integra GSR, and that's what got me into the world of motorsports to a point, and to the Hondas and stuff like that. So,
until I read that, I never understood why you called yourself Sonic on GRM, and now it makes total sense.
It goes way back to a long time ago.
I was going to say, I thought it was just Sonic Blue, not Supersonic Blue.
Supersonic when he drove it.
Supersonic Blue Pearl. It's a nice car. The color looked great. So, hey, if you're not driving a car like a Supersonic Blue Integra GSR that only got stolen once when I had it, get your E1R bingo card out. So, this time.
Links in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually pretty decent. We haven't changed it, but I like it. We've been getting occasional bingos, and it still makes me laugh. So, give it a shot. Yeah. So, it's time for what you're working on. And I was going to ask Chrissy what she's working on. But
she's working on getting home from the airport.
She's working on getting home from the airport. She's by the Find My iPhone thing. She's just about at the car right now, which is nice. So Chrissy's been prepping for food and camp supplies for the race, and then she traveled to work to Nashville, Tennessee for a conference and training for her work where she was doing some presenting and whatnot. And there was a theme for this whole thing that had involved racing that we came up with on a run one night. And there's a great picture that she sent. It's 5 guys and then Chrissy. The 5 guys are all wearing racing style gear, including racing style suits. Yet the only
you guys can't hear the finger quotes, they're finger quotes he's using right now.
Everywhere. Yeah. The only actual racer in the picture is Chrissy, who's wearing a polo and some pants and her helmet, actually, though. So.
Yeah, it looks like these guys went to, like, Race Image and bought
No.
Chrissy
they went to Party City. They went to Party City and that's not Race Image. Those aren't real suits.
No, not even close.
There's about 3 pixels in this picture, so it's hard to tell.
The closest those things have ever been to an SFI tag is the helmet Chrissy is wearing and next to them. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Funny.
Anyway, so she's been busy and she's on her way back. Her flight got delayed and so she just landed. So.
Well, we even delayed the podcast for like half an hour, but
yeah. Sorry, I did work.
No, it worked out great. So. Yeah. Wait. That's impossible. Mental doing work.
I know, right? Yeah. And they're like, "Hey, tomorrow can you do this?" I'm like, "No, I'm leaving. I'm going racing."
So what else are you working on, Mental, aside from work?
So I did order some VFR parts because the VFR still has this thing where, like, if it sits for a couple days, it doesn't want to start. And I'm just running down, trying to track down that problem. And because Amazon ships cheaper the more stuff you own, I went ahead and replaced my tinted windscreen. I got some other parts coming. And then the Vino from the infamous Vino laydown. Now that the Vino, and I've actually been riding it to work all week. Well, for the last 2 weeks. So I should probably get some mirrors and fix some stuff that was broken in the crash. And all of that should be waiting on me. All that should be waiting on me when I get back. But it is worth mentioning that every time I go through the gate, I'm in a flight suit and they know I'm a major when I roll up, and it is hilarious watching the airmen try and contain themselves at this guy in a flight suit riding a little 50cc scooter. Yeah, it's yeah, and I laugh with them. I laugh with them, and then they relax about the whole thing.
Come on, shouldn't they know? Like, that just shows how much confidence you have. You know, the major's on the scooter. You got a problem with this, airman?
Not even.
Oh, Jeff, go.
One guy kind of looks at me and he's containing a smirk. How you doing today? Oh, sorry. Crap. Yeah, I say the one kid's trying to contain a smirk and he goes, "How you doing today?" And I'm like, "I'm doing great. I'm on a scooter. You can't frown when you're on a scooter." And he lost it. So.
But you're so
I do
right.
have one comment about the mirrors. First rule of Italian driving. What's behind you no matter.
It's a Yamaha though, so.
Yeah, first rule of 50cc scooter driving. Yeah, know what's back there because it's going to try and run you down.
What's behind you actually does matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll say what I'm going on. Why don't you go next, Chris? We'll go back and forth. So.
I've been doing race food prep. I did 38 Wartburgers in a big batch the other night, which was nice. Working on.
So what's everybody besides Aaron going to eat?
I don't know. We're going to have to find something. But also did some work on the Civic. I got a bigger fan in that just barely fits everywhere, but it fits and it moves a lot of air. So we should solve that problem. Realignment. I took another degree of camber out of everything in the front end, and this is all that I can get because if I did an extra tenth, the upper control arm starts to hit the body. So that's all we got. But that's just where I wanted it, so that's good. It didn't oil change because it seemed like a good idea, even though the oil looked perfect. Some more weight reduction, things that I wanted to cut out for a long time, so you'll see some more material out of the doors and whatnot.
Less Honda every race.
Oh, yeah. Well, less 89 Civic, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's true.
Jeff at Pit Race had said, wouldn't it be nice to fix this seat angle? Because the way it was, it used to push into the back of your head a little bit and hold your head forward. And it's been like that. It's been like that for years. But as we weren't driving it as much anymore, we all kind of forgot how bad it was because we were used to it.
Yeah, we're in Thompson's Beamer, and wait a minute, this is a comfortable car.
Comfortable.
Yeah. So I said, all right, fine, I'll fix that if I have the time, and I had the time. So I pulled the seat out and found not only was the rear seat mount on one of the rails cracked off, but the attachment point on the other rear part of the seat rail where it attached to the car, that was cracked 3/4 of the way around. So thanks, Jeff. It was great I pulled that out.
So E1R top tip. Check your seat mounts.
Check your seat mounts once in a while. So I pulled everything apart, re-welded everything that was broken, welded on a little bit more material to change the front angle of the seat up a little higher. And it's definitely got a lot more room for your head now. I think it's just about right. We'll see. So you guys can tell me. What else did I do? I got the rear tires flipped on the wheels where you can wear them a little bit better. Pack the tools, pack the trailer. Everything except the big brake swap because the pads aren't here yet because Porterfield was a little behind in making the ST43. So we're running the same brakes we've been running for years, but they've never had any fade. They'll be fine. Just the other ones are better, but these are fine. So,
there it is.
Jeff, what have you been doing?
I took the advantage. I had a whole bunch of trailer stuff that I was going to do because, I've owned this trailer for like 3 years now and I've yet to build any kind of storage or anything in it. And I first had to mow my lawn. And you all know that I have such great time when I mow the lawn, Well,
so usually it's a several-month endeavor that involves Harbor Freight trips, 4 different lawnmowers.
No. I was thinking more like Corvette windows, but
that's right. Yeah, you're mowing your lawn is a drama-filled ordeal, rivaled only by a Spanish telenovela.
I'd like to see you daisy chain your riding mower with your push mowers.
None of the push mowers work at the moment. So I have to get the riding mower through a single person gate that is completely dilapidated, and I have to undo 12 bungee cords and move a couple of pallets because that's what it takes to keep the dogs in.
It's hilarious, by the way.
It's hilarious. So I'm doing that and I'm getting it all out, and as I'm driving through the gate, I slightly tap one of the gate poles. And it cracks and falls, and a giant section of the entire fence is basically hanging on by the moss that's covering the fence. So my dogs, we like to call them El Chapo and La Chapa. They have no ability to stay inside a fenced-in area with a good fence. So I'm like, I finish mowing the lawn. I use
They are
87.
salivating. We're
Yeah.
going to see the entire neighborhood.
Yeah,
It's going to be awesome.
I secure it with 8,700 bungee cords and boards and things, and I drive to Home Depot and I buy all the parts to replace a big section of my fence. And it's a project I wanted to do for months, but I kept having like race cars get in the way. So while I'm there, I buy the little the post hole digger, the manual post hole digger.
Sucker.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you had to do one mailbox, it's okay, but not for a real action.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
So
I did the same thing when I built my fence in Colorado. I dug one hole, drove right back there.
Yeah, I dug 3 holes and I did this to my hand.
Oh, that's a solid blister right in the middle of your palm.
Yeah, that's terrible. And the lovely and talented Jennifer comes out and says,
"That's your mouse hand too. My God, how are you going to get any work done?"
Yeah, I don't know. She says, "Why didn't you rent the machine?" I said, "Because it was like $100." She says, "That's the best money ever spent."
She's
so
right.
she drove, rented the machine,
totally right.
and threw it to me. So she saved my hands. I drilled the next 7 or 8 holes. It's perfect. It's not done yet. I still have to make the gate. I'm doing like I need to pull out the welder. I made like a bollard sleeve so that one of the posts can come in and out. So I have like 2 5.5-foot gates that I'm making. It's going to be epic. And then the reason I'm doing this is so I can hide the trailer in the backyard behind the fence. So mostly done. It's I'm going to have an 11-foot hole for my 8.5-foot wide trailer.
That's fine. You'll get that.
I think I should be all right.
Yeah.
Mental's like, no way. No way.
Well, you'll get good at it really quickly, or you'll get good at fence repair. That's your choices.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Another interesting news, I didn't concrete the poles. I used the foam, the expanding foam post hole filler. Has anyone seen this on the internet?
Yeah,
I thought
there's
you just sprayed a bunch of great
the Ugly
stuff in
Duckling House on Instagram. She did a whole review of that.
Yeah, stuff's great.
Yeah. When you said foam, I was thinking like you just went and bought like the spray can expanding foam that for half of our fiberglass parts.
It says big gap filler. That should be good enough.
No, this is like a bag of post hole foam, and it's really good and really expandy. I'll tell you, the next time I have to make a giraffe head or a Godzilla head for the race car, I would totally use this stuff instead of the can of the other stuff.
And it's actually supposed to be easier to dig up than concrete. If you have to move a pole, say because you backed into it with a trailer or something.
It gets pretty hard as rock. So anyway, there it is. I also had to go to DC and pick up a race car, but that's besides the point.
Thank you. Nice to have something to grab. Yeah. That was a lot easier than fixing the other race car we have. So.
That's for sure. So I got to see Thompson, deliver some parts to him, and pick up a race car. And he was very tastefully labeled all of the toolboxes with interesting labels, including marital aids, lube. I can't remember. Fireworks. One of them was fireworks.
Yep. Perfect. Sounds like a good weekend.
Yeah. Shall we talk about team news before we go on to news and notes? Or
I think we should.
All right. So those of you who are on our team or in our social media may have run into it. We have some somewhat sad news, but not sad, just kind of shocking news. Let's call it a kick in the balls news. Good friend, teammate Aaron Lieneman. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
Last week was diagnosed with my gosh, why am I blanking on it?
Leukemia, chronic leukemia.
Chronic leukemia.
I think it's CLL is the abbreviation. I forget what the middle L is for. Yes.
Yeah, I had an interesting talk with Uncle Dave. Talked all about it. Basically, hasn't been feeling good for a long time. Had a bad cough. Went to the clinic. They gave him more antibiotics and took a blood test and told him that he had no very low white blood cell count. So yeah, we want Aaron to do the best. We want him to come back and eat all of our change that. He's got to get healthy.
Some of our Wartburgers.
Some
Not
of
all
our
them.
burgers.
Yes.
From now on, he's on green vegetables, chicken, turkey, and tofu.
Is he really?
No.
Okay. I think Aaron
force
would,
it on him.
I think Aaron would say, you know what? I don't want to live. I don't want to live. That's it. I'm good.
If I can't eat a
Give me
Wartburger,
some vice grips.
Yep.
So I can eat right.
So anyway, Aaron's just a good, hardworking guy, always willing to help you out, and this is going to be pretty expensive for him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we've got, or we don't. Dave and Bobbin set up a GoFundMe for Aaron. We're gonna have a link in the show notes. So any bucks you want to chip in there, help out a fellow racer who's going through a pretty shocking, rough, and expensive time, everyone would appreciate it. So.
And he pulls wrenches for a living, so if you don't go to work, you don't get paid.
Yep.
And if you need any motivation, look at his Instagram and see any picture of him with his niece. This is a guy you want to keep around.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Everybody knows him. He's one of our Cressida guys. He's probably one of the better wrenches on our team. We love Aaron.
Yeah.
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 All right.
All right. News and notes and other things. Tell us about an Acura.
So after 11 years, Acura is bringing back the Type S. According to Ronnie Schreiber at Haggerty, fans can expect to see a Type S concept at Pebble Beach. It's basically going to preview the next TLX sedan. And that said, the return of the Type S is a pivotal mode for Acura, sending a powerful message that we are committed to fulfilling the precision-crafted brand performance promise across blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it's nice that Acura's thinking about performance again, because they used to be very good about that. Then they fell off into a sad slide. And let's bring some back. That's good.
And I'm wondering how long until the SUV Type S's, the MDX and
why not?
all that kind of.
Look at how many X5Ms and X3M packages and AMG GLCs they sell, right?
I was gonna say.
So there's and those things just print money, so they'd be dumb not to. I mean, you already see plenty of A-spec RDXs around, so yeah, make some money.
Do it.
Fair enough. And on that Honda note, IndyCar has confirmed the introduction of hybrid engines from both Honda and Chevrolet for the 2022 IndyCar season. So they had this new engine formula planned for the 2021 season, but they had to push it back a year so they can introduce this hybrid power unit along with their next generation IndyCar chassis. Now, according to the article on The Drive, which we have a link to in our show notes, this hybrid system is actually going to be running parallel to the 2.2-liter V6s that are out right now, but it's going to produce an excess of 900 horsepower. And they're also going to have an energy recovery system. That's the stuff that they're using in Formula One and the World Endurance Championship, the WEC. So they're going to have like the push-to-pass type stuff. And as always, we have a link to that in our show notes.
Yeah, I love that Formula One added the push to pass button because it went from like 0 passes per season to like 3 passes per season. So that was good for Formula One.
Yeah. Well, and IndyCar, I don't think really has a problem with passing. Genuinely, we talked about this before. I enjoyed the 500, and I've caught some highlights of some of the other street races, and it's been entertaining.
I do bash Formula One, but they had an excellent rain race the other day, and everything that could be good about the world was good about the world because racing in the rain is the greatest thing ever. Other great things, many of the fans we've been talking about Davey Johnson, the heartbreak of his passing. His family and friends have teamed up with the good folks over at Blip Shift, and there's a new shirt out called The Man in the Golden Helmet. It is Davey Johnson design, not Davey Johnson design. He was writing a book called The Man in the Golden Helmet about a motorcycle travels, and he never did finish it, but the home state of California, there's going to be a scholarship, and so go buy the book, Blip Shift, Man in the Golden Helmet.
Well, it's the T-shirt, and mine's already on its way.
Great.
Now,
how about some race recap results, Mental?
Exactly. So in some our rally correspondent Santiago took a break from #winning to grab us some updates. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, they had Rally Colorado, and we're told that the most ridiculous story was Earl the Rally Fiesta getting washed away in a flash flood. And he actually sent us a link to a tribute film about Earl the Rally car. And it shows a flash flood in Colorado literally carrying this Fiesta away over the horizon. And that link's in our show notes. But at the Rally Colorado, they had 23 starters. 14 of those were Subarus.
Boring.
7 of them didn't make it.
That's about
7
right.
of the Subarus or 7 of the
7
total
of the
starters?
cars. 7 of the total starters.
That's about 1/3. That's kind of what it seems to be when he gives us
Yeah.
the results. So, all right. Overall, the Brown in a 94 NA Impreza. 2-wheel drive was Miller and Miller in ZX3, who were 6th overall.
Well, that's cool. Here's the question: when you see Brown and Miller, what do you think? Brother, sister, married couple?
I believe the Millers are a married couple, if I remember some of our previous updates correctly, which there's a strong chance that I don't. But
I was going to say
Fair.
the best way to lose a spouse, I think, is to
Any
have
kind of
them
rally.
read you pace notes.
TSD or stage, it doesn't matter.
This past weekend at the Summer Snowdrift Rally, it's a short one-day rally using tulip notes. Those of you into TSD rallying may know what tulip notes are. It's on some of the same roads at the winter races, and 21 cars started. And Usher, another group probably headed to the divorce lawyers, in their NA Impreza, get this, long roof wagon 3.0 H6 baby took overall, and 2-wheel drive was Thompson and Freeman in their 1970 Mark I Escort.
That's cool.
Which was 4th overall.
yeah. Now, Santiago told us that he did, and I'm quoting here, tried to send it as hard as I could, so much so that 4 of my 5 skid plate bolts fell out on the last stage. Now, as I read
About
that,
right.
immediately went back to the very Fast and Furious thing where the floor pan just immediately
Yeah.
blows out of the Mitsubishi and danger to manifold. But Santiago did end up winning his class limited 2-wheel drive, and this is a big deal, by 4 minutes.
That's crazy. in
That's a
single
long
issue.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well
I mean,
done.
you get out, have a Coke, chill for a little bit, you stretch. Hey, what took you so long?
Yeah.
So, moving on to upcoming, while we're going to be throwing down at Thompson, which we're going to get to in just a minute, the crew from Champ Car are going to be running a true 24-hour race at Virginia International, the Lifeline 24-Hour Classic. 80 cars, 35 BMWs,
So boring.
15 Miatas, 9
So
Hondas,
boring.
6 Porsches, and a Lincoln Mark 8. Not boring.
Oh.
Now I saw that at CMP. It is on like 315 with tires, and it
Wow. That's a lot of
was
tires.
it was epically fast until it broke, which no one is
All
surprised
right.
about. Yeah. So the good there, sorry, aside from the Lincoln Mark 8, is the Blue Bayou Racing and their S2000.
For those of
Integra.
you listening at home, we're all covering for Chrissy's parts.
The team with the world's least creative team name is bringing 2 BMWs this time, and multi-series veterans and Cheez-It race suit driver extraordinaire, the Baltimoreans, have a BMW 318 finally with an i6 swap in as well. Let's see how they go. Good luck, Carl.
Oh, good job, Carl. I didn't know he was swapping the 4-cylinder out of that thing.
Oh, it blew up with 276,000 miles on
I
it.
saw
so,
that it blew up. I
you
just
know.
didn't know that they would go with a 6.
yeah, might as
Anyway,
well at
the
that point.
Adventurous.
Any man in a Cheez-It race suit is not going small.
I guess. The Adventurous Fat Dads are in the 89 Jetta. Good luck with that. I'm sure that'll work out really well for you. Actually, once you get a race car and you get rid of all the wires in all the doors, the Jetta might not be as bad as it was. Silver
just
Bullets.
Ask Lamino how that's working out for him.
Yeah. True. Silver Bullets in that Mark 8. Hopefully they have lots of brake pads and lots of gas. The Good, Bad, the Ugly in their 88 Camaro. And the Chandler School car. What is the Chandler School? Does anybody know? Is that a driving school?
I believe it is a local driving school.
Okay. I just didn't know if it was a high school or something. Since they're in an 85 Mustang, that sounds like what people in my high school drove.
Yeah, somebody misspelled Camaro in here. It's supposed to have an E in it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right?
Sorry. That was
Wait.
my bad.
Can I read the next line? The
Go for
funny. Hugh Jass in their 97 Miata. I just want to say Hugh Jass.
Keep
97
going, Jeff.
Miata,
Come
they've
on.
done well, and it's fun to say. Ape X That's like monkeys with an X. They'll be out there in a neon, and the well-lubricated racing in their Ford Focus will all be out there at VIR for a true 24. Do we know what hour that starts and ends? Are they doing like noon to noon? Do we know?
I have no clue.
I think it's 4, it's in the afternoon, 4 to 4. All right, so
that's long. I mean, it's always the same length.
Yes, it's still 24,
long,
but
yeah, that's long after sunrise. Usually,
actually, no, scratch that. I'm sorry, because I did that race a few years back, and I think it started at.
They usually start like noon, right?
Such a noon, yeah.
Everybody could get out. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so Extreme Experience. Look for them at Putnam Park in Indianapolis, Pikes Peak in Colorado, and in September they're going to Utah Motorsports Campus, Michigan International Speedway, and then just outside of Omaha, Nebraska, the home of the patient and lovely Vicky, at Raceway Park in the Midlands. Make plans to ride with me, or you know what, pay extra and don't ride with me, but I'm going to be at Wild Horse Pass in Arizona this November, and then in December I'm going to be at Driveway Austin in Texas. Choose your car, choose your track, and choose your date. Just remember to use the code EveryoneRacers and get 25% off. Extreme Experience, it's your turn.
Yeah, Everyone Racers was just at Englishtown, lovely Englishtown in New Jersey, and
wait, we were. You mean Extreme Experience?
Extreme Experience.
Extreme Experience.
Okay. Yeah. No, not us. They were. And show guest Cal Denisi put out on these social media, like, need a couple more drivers in Englishtown, and everybody started pitching in.
Crickets.
It's not as bad as it used to be. They just repaved it. I was like, no, I'm not good.
Not a chance.
Did they pick it up and move it to a better part of New Jersey? Because, I'll do NJMP all day long. Those folks are fun. But, Trenton.
Well, Englishtown, I just don't like the parts where if a car just does something wrong, it's suddenly right in the path of another car going very quickly, or perhaps directly facing another car going very quickly. Those kind of design flaws are just fatal in my mind.
Yeah, if you blow the cones, you end up on another part of the track.
Yeah, they're not far apart. So, yeah.
Well, the last time I was there, they were actually trying to fix exactly that problem by repaving and redesigning some of it. So, but
redesign now I'm at least interested.
Yeah. Again, haven't been. Don't want to go.
That's what it needs. It needs a redesign. It's not a real road course. But anyway, listener feedback. I'll yell since Chrissy's not here.
Sorry, take her spot too, because
I will. So she posted up, or she said, "What are we doing to go faster?" and put it out to the social media world. And Michael K said, "You're missing an option. I'm okay with ready, steady, no black flags, because I drive an IOE C car." So Michael's not doing anything to go faster. He's just trying not to.
That's a fair point of view, though. For that kind of driving, that's all you need is survive. That's good.
It's not. I mean, that's like a base requirement. If you're in C and you're looking for an IOE and you get a flag.
Yeah, well, also you're going to break the car, Samir. Do not.
Samir, you must concentrate.
Please, Samir, for the love of.
Bill F said he's working on heel toe or with his flippers on the ball on the side of the foot. Not even close to track ready though, but working inch by inch to get better.
Not a surprise. Garage Heroes not ready for the track. Cameron L. He practices left foot braking in his pickup truck, trying to be smoother when you do it. Left foot braking. I don't remember recommending that, Cameron, but go ahead.
No,
you do yourself.
Yeah, we do it sometimes. Certain places it really helps.
Left foot breaker. Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying
new Honda, but when you have a turbo mode, left foot brake is an excellent way to keep boost.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Dinesh has been practicing his heel and toe in traffic and, quote, as well as keeping my seat position where it would be for the race in order to get used to that position, which is a compelling thing. You practice the way you're going to race. And he's been working on his fitness, wants to fit in those seats a little bit better. At the same time, what you're going to see, Dinesh, is you're not as exhausted when you get out of the car when you're in better shape.
Hey, at least he can fit the belts around his stomach. That's step one. Get that right, and you're set. All right. Chris E. Young Chris continues the consumer advice discussion about intercoms, which is really actually helpful stuff. I wish I had even a quarter of the talent that he does for this kind of thing. But he said, many thanks for the feedback. I'm not against buying a system, but it's good to hear about what systems are worth the cost and which ones are not. Sounds like your experience with the Chatterbox matches what my research turned up. I have the parts to make my own. It's just an intercom circuit, so I just have to find the time to finish it before next Friday. Still, have to make the car drive and that stuff too. He said all our helmets already have headsets installed to work with the radio, so I just wanted to work with that. So worst case though, Jeff is right. We're just going to put a second radio and put the Vox enabled and see how that goes.
Well, I saw on the internet, because I guess I typed intercom, or I set it near a microphone that was supposedly off on my phone. So the ads started popping up for motorcycle intercom systems. Now, you guys are motorcycle guys. Why couldn't you use a motorcycle intercom system in a car?
Well, that's what a Chatterbox really kind of is.
Primarily, and that's where it started. A lot of new bike stuff that you're finding is Bluetooth designed, and I feel like it's going to be flawed. I honestly haven't tested it, but
all right. Well, anyway, since I was working on the fence and I posted the picture of me and my digger, Cameron
I'm saying, he did a good job, because the lovely and talented Jen posted pictures of how good your fence looked.
She's just doing that so I would plug the machine that she bought. Cameron, who's left foot braking, said he finally figured out that he had a bad ECU after he got one that was coded wrong. So after months of neglect and months of bad diagnostics, he got his car running. Woo woo.
Chris, you know something about that.
Yeah.
Donnie P posted up. Yeah, Florida man Donnie P said, just the norm, bringing another car home. Now I'm down to only 3 that are not in Florida. At least I have a lot more time to figure out how to add additional fuel capacity to the Silver Red line. And again, if you guys aren't following Donnie in his social media, that whole adventure, he has a dually that he termed Spaceball 1.
That thing is big. Doesn't he have to go back to school soon? Like, isn't he some kind of student?
He lives quite the life. Yeah,
he does.
So Bruce S. is brewing beer. It's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
And his beer is delicious. I've enjoyed some of that. Hello, cat. All right. Mark F. says he got the gas tank cleaned out and reinstalled in his Kaiser project and took it for a drive. Sweet. I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Already mentioned Carl and the Baltimoreans. He's race prepping his champ car for VIR. Got some new ST43s and an oil change. And that's good for him, because according to Facebook, his anniversary is on Thursday, so he might not survive the get to the race if his wife finds out.
I think she's figured out that this is his thing now.
Probably.
Too late.
Yeah, exactly. Too late. Sorry, but happy anniversary.
He did have his daughter in that little tiny cart thing that was just absolutely fantastic at the racetrack. So
yes,
his daughter already has more fun at the race than my son. So whatever.
Well, and honestly, that is a great place for a young girl to grow up, because then when she gets to be of dating age, she's got roughly 200 aunts and uncles who'd be like, I don't know you, kid, you ain't good enough. No. You want you just get on out of here before you become a part of this place. David E. was working on his theme, and then Scott M. was playing a game that we're all too familiar with, of Car Tetris.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We should mention David E. and the crew from Cheesebolt Enterprises. They are completed their Escort build, or their Focus build.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the car that got totaled at Jersey. And Amanda sent them a cage, and Donnie sent them some belts, and they've been working their butts off.
They found a new chassis.
Yeah.
So
good for them.
Good for them. Yeah.
Hell, I couldn't build a new Civic in that kind of time.
Boys, yes, hell yeah. Boys, we can't wait to see you at Lake Chargagagog, and first beer's on me. You guys deserve it.
Hell yeah. Bruce L. typed in his own special language that he's working on RV windows and the Mazda. That's good.
Do you know who also has her own special language?
She's got a Mazda. Let's go there.
She does. So. She has a Mazda. She doesn't work on it, though. I do.
Yeah.
Yep. Hi, Chrissy's mom. Hi, Carol.
All right.
Yep.
So let's talk about other races. Lucky Dog. Now, the Laguna Seca race at the end of August is sold out to absolutely no one's surprise. But this weekend, while we're throwing down, is the Lucky Dog Family Endurance Racer Gathering Jamboree, a.k.a. Dog Stock. It's going to be at the Shasta Lake Resort. Camping, barbecue, boating, RC car racing, horseshoes, ping pong, really tall racing sales. And just in case you're getting that last-minute reservation, know that cabins B and C are going to be next to the pool that is going to serve as Race Central, a.k.a. Kathy's Cantina. Or Cantina, sorry.
Cantina, yes.
Cantina makes more sense.
And I guess they emailed Chrissy?
Yeah, they emailed Chrissy.
Well, I guess she's on their mailing list, I guess. But she said that they're racing at Calaboogie August 24th and 25th. So then you can say you've raced in more than one country. I think that's in near Toronto, eh?
Hey, yeah, absolutely.
Kanakistan.
You could be just like Home Slice. You'd be like, I've raced in multiple countries, so I think I know what I'm doing.
All right. We're going to get on to our main topic now. Chrissy is the only one who knows how to pronounce this race.
I got it.
Oh, Chris thinks he can do it. Go ahead. Chris, tell us what race we're going to this week.
The Grand Prix du Lake Chargagagog Manchagagog Chowbungagungamog.
Thompson race.
Thompson race.
Well done. Well done. No, yeah, because I've got like a bookmark on my computer, working computer, and I've been trying to listen to it so I could say that, and I can recognize it correctly. Still can't say it.
I know what it means.
What does it mean?
It means you fish on your side of the lake, and I'll fish on my side of the lake, and no one will fish in the middle.
Yep. Well done. It's a little tiny lake too. Like there's, I don't know how much.
Is it? I don't know. I've never actually seen the lake itself.
It is not a large lake. Like you could see the guy on the other side of the lake and wave. So, and it's the same fish. They don't have to go far.
No.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, if we go the middle, we're not going to get hooked. It's going to be awesome.
Pretty
so
much.
Our fifth host, Eric Rude, check that off on your card, got us the list. 100 cars, 18 BMWs, because all of them are going to be down at VIR, all the rest of the BMWs.
It's still boring, though.
Still boring. 3.5 Miatas, 12 Hondas, 3 P cars, and a 1978 Fiat 131, baby.
That is Italian AF. We'll be talking about them in a few minutes.
Yep.
3.5 Miatas.
Yeah, it's that Miata E, Cobra E, Daytona Shelby, the red V8 one with the side pipe.
That's so tragic that every time they step on the gas, it goes sideways. Oh, it's so bad.
Well, here's the question:
it's only about half Miata at this point.
Is one of those BMWs going to be racing with us, or is that at the 19th BMW?
No, that's and two
as
of
much
those
as that
BMWs will be. Yeah, 2 of those BMWs are actually going to be flying under our rather large umbrella banner.
Yeah.
No, we can't take credit for the other one.
No, we don't want to take credit for that one.
Garage Heroes is not us.
No.
We love Garage Heroes. Bill and company are actually, he did mention that he wanted us to get some seat time during the practice day and maybe take a shift during the race.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I know, really. Let's talk about the cars. Who's got the good ones?
I'll do the good. So we got a couple of cars that might do all right here, but normally the one that schools the rest of our own team is the Cressida. It's not the fastest. It's just the best because they just keep driving. So,
totally.
Yeah. And we can't add the BMW of Hamza's car because if we're going to go too fast enough, Hamza's going to say, ho, slow down there. What do you think? This is a race?
Look, we screwed around in the BM ZX, whatever, Nissan Z20, BMW 25. And we were in top 15, weren't we?
When we went to Barber, we had 5 drivers. We did not try it all. We swapped 5 drivers in every day, and we came in 7th.
But even in Jersey, I think we were in the teens, weren't we?
Yeah, we were 15th.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. This is without trying
it for a little bit.
Right. And coming in, I ran out of gas, and so we put some gas in at the pumps. Then we're waiting for Chrissy to get her stuff on, and Eric wasn't feeling well, and it's still
How pissed would Chris be if we stacked the BMW and won with that instead of the Honda?
I'd be thrilled. Why not? Go for it.
Because the goal at the beginning of the year was we want an overall. It was not qualified. Now, and I still believe that the Honda's got it in it.
Oh, but I know the Honda's got it in it.
I'll take an overall.
We might not be there yet.
I'll
What
take
else?
it either way. FRS's Ugly Uncle, they're always fast. Momrath Racing, they just won in New Jersey and are currently leading the Eastern Points Championship by 1 point.
Ooh.
This is the first time anyone but us has led this championship in like a couple years. So we got to fix that. We need a top 10.
We should get Amanda to start her own podcast, and then
that'll ruin it. Yeah,
exactly.
Maybe I'll bring her one of the trophies. And that'll.
Yes, that'll help. The Scotch Rockets 924. They're fast if it doesn't break, which it usually does, or flag, which it usually does. Silly Nannies have somehow figured out how not to flag and still be fast, and they have 3 entries in this race. So, but hey, just watch them load at the end of the track, and then at the end of the weekend, and you will suddenly not feel as strong about their chances. Yeah, mental.
I remember they I don't think it was their intention, but they got into an argument with my dog at pit.
With your dog?
Well, no, what it was is they would hammer and Moko would bark. Clang, bark, clang, bark, clang, bark, clang. Bark.
That's pretty funny.
Moko's the little shaky dog, right?
Yes.
Just to check that off. Just saying.
Shaky dog. Oh, man, I haven't been doing my thing at all.
Actually, Rika's the one that always makes the noise, but I'll give you Shaky Dog. Yeah, Moko's just the obnoxious one.
That's true. All right, a couple more. Bazinga Racing, they have started to be fast in their Z32 300ZX, except the VG30 stock motor is probably going to break because that's what they do. They also need to theme better, like their Bazinga, and I think they stuck a couple action figures and wrote whatever the catchphrase is from the show.
Bazinga! That's
right,
what
they
it
just
is.
wrote that in like 3-inch high letters in the car and said, "That's good." Come on, step up, Jonathan. Also, One Tire Fire. They used to be a force in the Northeast, and they've been breaking a lot in their Z, but they know how to drive.
True.
Is it me? I was doing my
It is you.
I was doing my card. All right, the Adventurers. My boys in the hit 'em with the Hein Ford Ranger, number 316, because I don't know, 316, whatever. They're going to be out there. Rusty Tier will be out there in their Fiero. We always love that. Sabrina Duncan's Rerun SDR in their Sunbeam Rapier will be back. So we can't wait to see that. And we already mentioned the Italian as F, that's as Franco. 1978 Fiat 131. And strap yourselves in, gentlemen. The Garage Heroes in Training by the powers of Alan Danvers.
And I feel like there should be reverb when you say that. There should be like a reverb. By the power of Alan Danvers.
Well, that would actually...
It's not going to be there.
I was going to say...
It's on the list. It's what they registered with. So.
No, now they said that, but I'm pretty sure they're selling the Spider Stang, but they have the Ombre and the E36. A brand new
threatening
E36.
to sell that Spider Stang for since they bought it, though.
Yeah. Well, anyway. How about Mental? Do you want to take Chrissy's spot
Right.
on this? Because, she's not here yet.
I do. Yes, unfortunately, I'll be taking the funny. But number 19, Team Sputnik in his 1991 Sentra Wagging. Nothing particular.
More roof.
30% more roof. Nothing particular. He's just always funny. I don't know if you guys caught the last Lemons wrap-up video, but his other Nissan, the non-Sentra, they said, and his pit looked like a Sputnik pit in that there was Nissan parts everywhere, and it just kept expanding and growing.
But he is bringing kebabs to the potluck, so
That's all
if you've never had a Sputnik kebab, you're missing out.
Oh, good to know. All right. We like the tuna here in that 97 Chevy Monte Carlo that identifies as a Supra and would prefer to be referenced as a Supra. So it's got the epic sticker on the side. The Pro Band-Aid Solutions in their 96 Toyota Celica. Obviously, they're fans of safety. Hence, we like them.
That's why Chrissy was going to read that part. It was gonna be
exactly. Now, what's going on there? Hey, wait a minute, Mental. You didn't mention my hilarious team. Well, too bad. You know what you got to do? You got to come to the potluck Saturday night that we're hosting. Bring something more than a 12-pack of cookies you picked up on the soon-to-be expired aisle at the Kroger. And fuss at me because I'm usually the guy that types all this crap up.
Yep.
Cool. So, needless to say, but I looked at the list, everybody who's everybody in the East Coast is going to be here. This is a great race. This is probably the closest thing to the old Capitol Offense race because of the church hour, because of the bonfire, because of the crazy things that happened in the paddock. I mean, the first year we were there, some dude nearly caught a knife. They had to like arrest his teammates or something. I don't know what exactly was going on. But let's just talk a bit about what's going on. Can't get in until Friday at 7:30 a.m. This is the way it happens every year. We all like sleep in the Walmart parking lot. We all wake up at like 7:29 and half the cars are already like on the dirt road idling trying to get in. It's a bit small, but everybody packs in. So take the first spot you can. Some people will be way out there. So just be prepared. You might be way the hell out there in the grass. It's kind of the haves and have-nots because there's not a lot of garages. Let's just check the references. Do we have a garage?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Do we register for that garage the second they open?
Yes, we do.
Do we pay our money immediately?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
This is why we have Dave from the Cressida team do this race's garage, because we know it will get done properly. So, yeah.
Yes. And that's in spite of the fact that the guy who runs the place hates you, Jeff. We still get this stuff.
He doesn't hate me. He's just my nemesis. So anyway, it's okay to paddock on the grass when you go here, but don't paddock up on the hill by turn 10. I don't know why, but they just tell you that. But all the garages near the pavement, all the pavement near the garages is reserved, so don't park there. You can park trailers in the grass, the unused part of the oval.
That's way out in the oval. Like you feel like you're going halfway on track to do it, and you are, but it's just the unused half of the oval.
And actually, that's a great place to watch.
Yeah,
those people seem to have really good seats.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Dunkin' Donuts will be there, so I'll be buying my iced coffee, and they will go home as soon as they don't sell $200 an hour.
Yeah, that's their number. So
I don't know what they always just tell us that.
Buy more coffee.
This is probably the cheapest track to buy fuel at, and they always have a ton of it. So we almost never go off site to get fuel here. Like the difference is like $20 all weekend. So
yeah, and they have a whole tanker truck waiting next, up in the infield, ready to refill the supply. So they're usually good about that.
There you go. Top tip here is to mind the blend line. It is short and it is at the fastest part of the track. It's right at the end of the straight. So watch the blend line, and if you're blending in, watch for the dive bombers.
Yeah, sometimes you get those people that just have to make the pass on the inside 4 wide and go over the blend line, and sometimes it doesn't get seen. So watch out for it. It happens.
Yeah. And if you wonder if accidents ever happen in that part of the track, just search for last year.
Yeah. Brakes are important there, kids.
Right. Yeah.
So you can't throw that matzo ball out there and not tell us a story.
There was a car coming down the straight. Piloted. It was Fritz's car, but it was not being piloted by Fritz. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who's piloting. I can see his face.
But it was their Integra.
Yeah, it's their Integra, and he kind of, at the end of the straight near the braking zone, right over the blend line.
Well, he had no brakes. Like you see,
he had no brakes, so he just kind of like moves towards the infield, hits the grass, like triangulates the turn, and goes straight in between a bunch of traffic at full speed because he has no brakes. Hits the grass on the far side. Yeah, threaded the needle like you wouldn't believe. Hits the other side and goes straight into the tire wall. Harry, I believe Harry is the guy's name.
Oh, I do remember that video. Yeah. We talked about that on the show.
And it was scary.
It was because you see him start pumping, and it was a brilliant bit of car control of, well, that happened.
I think it was a whole lot of luck. That was luck.
Oh, dear. I think I shall now find a gap in the traffic.
Yeah.
That was a whole lot of luck, but hey, it worked out. All right, so we haven't done none of these before. Let's do a turn-by-turn virtual track walk We've been there several times. I feel like we've got kind of a handle on this track fairly well. So
I do.
yeah. So let's go through it. And
I could use this virtual track
I know
walk,
you can.
I've always managed to be out of the country whenever we've done this.
So let's start on the straight. Obviously, it's not quite a straight. There is a kink in it, so be aware of that. Some people get a little upset at the kink. When you're in the braking zone, it goes uphill, and you only really see it when you walk the track. But there's a noticeable uphill at the end of the braking zone, so use that. You can really throw the anchor out there. You've got the traction to do it. But if you brake too late, you get to the crest of the hill, and then you lose all that traction that you had from going uphill. So got to make sure you're doing that right.
Relate that to New Jersey for me.
You'll see.
It's a lot skinnier.
It is skinnier.
The track does not have the width of New Jersey.
Well, just because I know you coming into turn one in New Jersey, you can jump on those binders really hard until you can't be on those binders. Because
it's a lot tighter than Jersey too. You have to be a lot slower.
Well, the other thing mental is at Jersey, you're talking Lightning, the one we were just at, is the braking zone. When you're in it at the end of the braking zone, you're still going up the hill. And you're going around the corner before you crest. The up and the crest is all still on the straight before you even start turning. But it's all in the braking zone. So once you're up over the crest of the very slight hill, then you're in turn one. Now, turn one is off camber initially, but you get the camber back once you get past the apex. So a perfect line, you're going to trail your brakes in a bit, and then power your way out. You might understeer as you're coming through it, but know that as you get kind of over past the apex, you get the camber back, and it's finds some grip in there. Jeff?
Yeah, tracking out towards the outside of the track is the right thing to do no matter where you do it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times I can find that this is a great place for offline turns, offline passes.
Absolutely.
Because people are doing it, even if they're doing it right, they might not be doing it at the speed because they slow down too much.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. So 2 is just an extension of 1 and a setup for 3. That's all 2 is. If you just kind of follow your flow out of 1, but don't track all the way out, because all 2 is get you out of 1 and ready for 3. There's nothing else in there. You're not at the limit. You're okay. So after you're out of 2, you end up like 2/3 of the way tracked out, but then you immediately have to get all the way back to the right to set yourself up for turn 3, which is a left-hander. And 3 is a pretty standard classic 90-degree left. It's a little off camera on the outside, and it goes uphill right after the corner, but it's just a normal 90-degree left.
And a very critical flag station right at that turn.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you cannot see the next section of track
at all.
Because there's kind of a berm right inside the track, so you can't see. And
that section is where it is most likely to bind up. So, great point on that one, Jeff. Because after you come out of 3, you have a very short straight that's uphill again. So not much uphill, but just enough that you can brake very well there. And you have to, because 4 is a very tight hairpin to the right. I like it as a single late apex to go through there, but most of the time it's going to be pick your lane in traffic and find your way out of it. But if there's no one around you, just wait, turn in late, single late apex, let it push out. There's a lot of runoff room there. That's okay. But it is off camber the whole way around. So it is slow. It's going to be the slowest corner on the track.
Definitely. I'm also going to mention that I know we're not expecting rain, but if there's a drop of rain, this is probably the slipperiest part of the track.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Fortunately, the forecast I saw was 78 and sunny every day.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, 59 and clear at night, 78 and sunny day. Like, you can't ask for
just
much better
the perfect temperature for a hot tub.
Absolutely.
Sure.
We're gonna have to do that pickup truck trick again, I think, to fill it up.
Yeah, we are.
So let's see, where are we? After 4, so 5 and 6, they're kind of together. This is where you go under the bridge that goes into the infield. This can be, as a left turn, it's another sweeper. This can be a double or a single apex. It depends on the traffic and your car. I haven't found one to be noticeably better than the other, so however it works out for you. The key is, though, to try to track out your apex, really, is very, very late. Because as soon as you cross onto the oval, you lose a ton of camber. Like, it immediately goes positive. Because you're in the bank section of the oval So you lose it all. So if you haven't made most of your corner by then, you're not going to have the grip you did before then. So the thing to do is aim for the little triangle on the left that's at the end of the curb. And I know right now you say
dirt triangle.
Or
right?
it's like pavement or concrete. It's distinct though. It's this little distinct triangle right as you're going from under the bridge to into the oval. And when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But right now it doesn't make any sense. But
it's like three paving surfaces come together.
Yeah. There's this little, it's there. You'll see it. That's where you should aim for your track, for your apex, actually. And after that, your track out is onto the oval. But be careful as you're tracking out, because after the curb on the right-hand side as you're tracking out, there's a pretty big ditch. So you don't really want to drop a wheel off there if you can help it because of that.
And it gets really kind of choppy right before the ditch.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to have your wheel on it.
Yep. The candies there are not favorable. We'll put it that way.
It'll suck you in.
Yeah.
Just stay off the curbs.
Stay off the curbs if you can help it.
I'll say this like Santiago would. No ditch hooking. At this turn.
No.
Samir, I beg of you.
This is not New Jersey Thunderbolt where there's that one turn you kind of have to ditch hook. This is stay off the ditches. So 7
My
and
favorite track. My favorite turn right here.
7 and 8, top of the oval. Fun trick we learned last year when it rained for a little while. If you put your left two tires on the oval surface right up against the line of cones they always put there, you have a ton of traction in the wet. Not in the dry, but in the wet, it's amazing. But we're not racing in the wet, so don't worry about it. There's really two lines through the top of the oval. There's an inside line and an outside line. If you're on the inside, you dive down into the right, and you kind of hug it all the way around and spit it out on the other side, and that's okay. It's the shortest distance, absolutely. But in some testing of our car, I've done 5 laps one way, 5 laps the other way in clear traffic on testing day, and I found the outside line is faster when there's no one else around. So what you do, yeah, Jeff?
I was just going to say, we should probably mention that I said earlier that the Thompson track in general is very narrow. But this oval, the entire oval, is extremely wide. Yep. There is a ton of room on the pavement, this entire oval section. And that's why there is so much room to either go in or out. Mm-hmm. And you'll never cross each other. Like, someone could be in and someone could be out, and your lines you won't even get close to them.
Yeah. Unless you are not paying any attention, which I've seen happen. I've seen someone come from fully outside to fully inside when someone else is on the inside line and just hit them out of nowhere. Like, great job.
This is my line, and I will defend it. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Yeah, right. Try another series. Thanks.
But you could be like 5 wide through here.
In one spot you can, but then it narrows down.
And then yeah.
So if you get your passing done in that little spot, set yourself up as you're coming in off the oval. Anyway, so when you want to do the high line,
I like how this is going, because it's not just how to get around the track the fastest, but it's also here's where people are going to make stupid mistakes.
Yeah. Well, this is where you got to get yourself sorted. If you're going the high line, stay kind of up on the banking a bit after you come out of 6, and stay up by. There's always a line of cones. They don't want you to go up on the oval itself. There's a line of cones down lower. Get up to those, like brake late and brake while you're up on the banking. And while you're on the banking, turn really hard, because you want to take advantage of that banking to get a lot of the turning done. Because you remember, you're doing this as a late apex, so you're way out. But when you get so much traction out of that, and also when you hit the bottom of the oval, the suspension compresses and you get a lot of traction there too. But after that, you've got to open the wheel up a little bit, because you're not going to have the traction after you've gone over that bump at the bottom. So after that, you just kind of bring yourself in, keep it on the inside, and spit yourself out at the inside and head toward 9. If you can't make it though, go 2 car widths left, because right like 1 car width off of the curb, there's a big bump where you transition, like a pretty bad bump. But you can actually kind of see where it's not the bump, so you kind of spit yourself out early into the back of the oval straight, then you're okay.
Yeah, you got to kind of either stay in or stay off the transition. There is a star. I don't know what word is on. I think it's Texaco, and there's a star on the wall.
I thought it said Thompson.
Does it say Thompson? Whatever it is, there's one letter that is a star, and that is like my visual reference for where the bumps are and aren't. I know I go here, and then I go towards the star, and I don't hit the bump.
Yeah, if you hit the bump hard, that means you need to go further in or further out, because that bump really unsettles the car a lot. So give that a try. All right. 9, you're coming off the oval. This is you're exiting the oval into the corners to the left there. You want to clip the apex at the edge, the left edge of the oval where it leaves on the inside, and that's where there's a bump as you are exiting the oval. Get over the bump and then brake in a straight line heading towards the hill. A lot of people try to brake and turn and brake and turn and do that. Just brake in a straight line, get it done with, and then immediately turn in for 10. Because you don't want to track out of 9. Like, there's not really much of a track out. You're just setting yourself up for 10 because 10 sets you up for 11, which is the fastest corner on track leading onto the straight. You have to get 11 right. To get 11 right, you have to get 10 right. You can't get 10 right unless you turn in early out of 9 to line yourself up. Like, coming out of 9, there'll be a little, like, mini, tiny straight. You want to be parallel with the curbs, with the suspension unsettled and just straight before you turn the right-hand turn that is 10. And that is a pretty reasonable 90-degree turn, Jeff.
I'm going to say this is the most difficult part of the course and maybe the most important because it is setting you up for the straight, and you are heading straight towards a flagger behind a plastic wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes some guts and understanding, because the last thing you want to point your race car towards is like a human being holding a flag. But that's kind of how you got to do it.
But you can see him, which is great.
Yeah, heck yeah. That's why he stands there. Right.
So coming in out of 9, all you're doing is setting yourself up on that little straight stretch for 10. 10 is a 90-degree right-hander. It is on camber a little, and it is also slightly downhill. So you're going to lose a little traction as you go through it. But it's just, think of it like a normal 90. But that's going to set you up on the left-hand side for 11, which is a long right-hander. So out of 10, along the curbing, everyone is probably going to have to at least lift there. Maybe the very slowest cars won't, but most people are going to have to at least lift, if not to give us a brush of the brake to settle the nose. Then you want to turn in and stay on the gas. 11 is your setup for the long straight. It's also very deceptive going in. It looks small, and you can't see your way out. But there is a huge amount of runoff room, like a ton of track on your left. You can carry a ton of speed there. Also, because as you've gotten past the apex, the track starts to go uphill, so you're going to get your traction back. So even if you're understeering at the apex, as soon as you get past it and start going uphill, you're going to get more traction, and you're going to make it, and there's plenty of room going over there. So use it, power out of it, stay on it. And this is also the spot where if you lift in this, you can spin and back into the Armco.
Yeah, before you go, Mental, I want to say that there's more room between 10 and 11 than I think you understand. Like, you have to kind of power through between 10 and 11, or else you can really lose a lot of speed.
Yeah, you'd be amazed at how much speed you can carry through 11 out onto the straight. Mental, please.
All right, a couple of questions. First one, which one of those flag stations is the black flag station? Not that I'm going to be looking, but for our listeners.
Start finish usually is where I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a black flag anywhere else other than start finish.
That's fair.
a good question.
Yeah, that's the only one I've seen.
And then now there is a practice on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But will we be doing the standard 3-pedal mafia, grab a beer and walk with us track walk that you're so famous for?
We will, because the track, I have to give Thompson kudos for their willingness and encouragement to get people to learn their track. They let people do instruction in the cars on Friday testing day.
Whoa.
We're going to do that. It's
hence our intercom discussion.
Right,
nice. Exactly.
So take advantage of that. Plus the track day, if you register more than 24 hours in advance, which means you still have time, it's $200 for the track day, and it's $250 if you do it at the track. But that's still cheaper than anywhere else.
Pretty much.
Also, they specifically say track walks allowed from 5 to 7 on Friday. they're anticipating it. So really kudos to Thompson for caring about safety, caring about people learning the track, and facilitating a way to do that. So thank you very much.
Other kudos for Thompson. They build a bonfire for us to have parties at night. They really do. The track manager, I harass him all the time because he thinks my jokes are funny, but he wants to be more serious. So I think the track is a great track. I think they have a great facility. There's only one thing they ever did that I was a little angry about, and that was charging us when we dented the garage.
Yeah, well, we did dent the garage.
We did dent the garage.
That totally needs to be a bingo thing because you always complain. Every time I go back, that garage is still dented.
Well, that's the idea. If they took the money, fix it.
No. They took the money for the depreciation because now when they go to sell the track, the next guy's going to walk around and be like, oh, what about this dent right here? I want at least $200 off the price of this track.
Yep. By the way, Chrissy's about 2 minutes away per my Find My iPhone app.
I don't know. Well, she can get in here for hella sweet or butt terrible. Yeah. But this is a very important thing. So now Chris mentioned that they're setting up the bonfire for us, and one of the things is Lemons is trying to aggressively not get back to the stupidity of stuff like we did at Summit Point, but to that whole party atmosphere. And I think New Jersey, they really kind of found just the right blend of stupidity and fun without really anything important burning down. So to that end, Saturday night, folks, grab something. Grab like a great big bag of salad. Grab a case of beer. Grab something large enough for the whole thing. Come on by the Three Pedal
meatballs. Something good.
A tray full of meat.
Meatballs. Tray full of meat.
Yeah, find a barbecue truck. Something like that. There you go. Get some stuff.
One of those giant deli trays even.
Yeah.
Right? So come on by. We're hosting a potluck. Bring your own chair because we love you guys, but we can't bring chairs for everybody. Bring your own chair. Bring your swimsuit, hop in the man stew.
There's too many people. Don't say that. Team only.
All right.
Team only.
All right, fair enough. But come on by, sit down, make fun of us for having a dumb podcast, make fun of us for having a Godzilla head on our car, but come do the potluck thing or sit in the corner and talk bad about us. We don't care. So bring something to share, bring a chair, bring a drink. It's going to go Saturday after the track goes cold, about 7 p.m. after everybody, kind of does all their stuff. Even if you're elbows deep in an engine rebuild, take a break. Wipe down, come on over, get something to eat, catch your breath, then go back over there and stay up all night working on it because it's still going to be broken after you have dinner.
And we don't go hot again until noon on Sunday. So it's an odd day. It's a 9-hour or 9.5-hour Saturday and a 5-hour Sunday.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Guess who just got home?
Oh.
Yeah. The cat run down to greet her?
Of course.
All right. Well. All right,
I feel like we should wait for her.
Well, we can prep the audience while Chris still got his headphones on because it goes down there. So for hella sweet or butt terrible, we had a good one this week. So Steve, the dishwashing fairy, sent us an actual email. And I quote, "You guys know Josh, his oldest son, is 15 and eager to drive and race. He drives every chance I give him. He also has Auto Shop 101 and the 3rd and the 4th school quarters starting in this January. Seems very committed, which is great because like any teenage son, sometimes they get a little, wanderlust. And I'd love to give him the opportunity to race at a much younger age than I ever had. And to that end, Steve, I say kudos because I had to start doing all this crap in my 20s and it cost me way more money. But I'm not fussing, Dad. He quit listening when we started cussing. So Steve was poking around the Lemons board recently on info for Thompson and ventured into the cars for sale because we all go over there on the cars for sale section. And he came across a not a terrible deal on an automatic Lemons caged Corolla on the Lemons forum. And we do have the link to that car in the show notes. So it's a car that we've raced against several times. Steve says he's battled it in the boat and the Ombre. Talked to the owner. Seems like a complete Lemons guy. Said the car is pretty reliable in a Toyota Corolla. Yeah, why wouldn't it be? His progression plan is for Josh to autocross to learn basic car control, then high-performance driver's education, and then eventually in a year or two, because he's 15, goes to Lemons. Wants him to learn stick, but Steve's advice here. He likes that this car is an automatic, so he can focus on pure driving skills rather than worry about shifting at the same time. And then Steve does go on to mention that his son Josh will work on the car and that it's also narrow enough to fit in his basement, which he's got a set of double French doors, and that is the Datsun barely fit into there. So that is a key thing. So he's got a place to put it. So he's asking us, is this hella sweet or but terrible? Jeff.
All right, so I gave this a slightly but terrible. I don't think the car is but terrible. I don't like this idea. This is basically what I said. I said, don't bother with a Lemons car if the Lemons car is still a few years away. I suggested that he buy a streetable track toy, whatever mini Honda, Miata, Toyota 86, whatever. And just like he says, go to the local autocrosses, have fun once or twice a year, take it to an HPDE or a school or whatever, because the time and money spent in a street car at SCCA or NASA or BMW Club or whatever local group you have that'll put an instructor in the right seat is probably the best way to learn how to track drive and to get you safe into Lemons racing. Something like Bill and his whole family is trying to do. And guess what a caged Lemon car is not good at? Autocrossing, going to any kind of BMW, CCA, street night in America or track night in America. They don't want caged race cars. They want street cars. Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Chrissy's here.
Hi.
Hey, Chrissy's here.
I'm so sorry. I was a race car driver down the Schuylkill and telling people to get out of my way and honking and my lights and stuff. And I'm like, I have a podcast to be on. I'm very sorry.
And they all listened.
They did, and then I said, "Look, don't."
My
you
God, behind me, it's the famous Chrissy Matura of the Everyone Racers podcast. I must get out of her way.
I know, right? And they're like, "Oh yeah, okay." So we didn't. My question is below. We didn't talk about the car, so I wanted.
And I had a link to it. The link is in the show notes. If you want to click on that link while we're getting to you.
No, I will. But do we not want to talk about what the car is, or we were just saying is
it
good?
Chris is. Yeah, and we did while you were getting set up. We mentioned what it is, and Chris has got some comments on it. Absolutely, it is an '88 Corolla automatic, fully caged.
Okay, I'm sorry I missed that.
No, but if you missed it, maybe one of our listeners missed it. No, he's laughing.
Turn my microphone on. Yeah, we talked about that, honey. When you had your earphones were not on.
I apologize.
It's okay.
I'm late to the game.
Yeah, it's a '99 Corolla automatic. It's the yellow Baywatch car that we've all passed many times and just keeps going round and round and round.
Look, here's the deal. It's a sub $1,000 Lemons car.
Yeah.
If you're waiting 2 years before you race a sub $1,000 Lemons car, it won't be worth anything. The cage will need updating. You'll need a new fire system. You'll need new belts. Whatever John Peggle thinks up next will need to be added, like maybe rain lights. The car is a screaming deal for someone who's going to race it right now. Don't let it sit around for 2 years. Don't take it to an autocross. That's not where it's going to be best.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Jeff. I'm going to vote but terrible on this. First off, learn stick while you're learning car control, because then they go together and then it's a natural. You're not forcing it later on. Mm-hmm. So and also you have better car control with the stick because you can use your throttle better to steer. With the automatic, unless you have a way to manually shift it between gears exactly, which the '99 Corolla DX does not have, then you're going to miss some of that car control. And
you do have a means to make it make more noise. It just won't go any faster.
Exactly. Really, I think it's going to be so much better to get something street legal, because Steve doesn't really have a tow vehicle. And, I mean, they have a minivan and they could rent a tow dolly, but that's a huge pain. Having something street legal lets you bring it to events so much more easily. And also, it lets Josh work on tuning things a little bit. Like, he can do something to it, go drive around the street and see how it feels. And he could say, oh, well, now the car is really darty and doesn't feel right or has no power, whatever the case may be. That's hugely valuable for learning. And if you can only do that when you're in a parking lot once a month, you're going to miss out on all that. You need something that you're going to be able to easily pick up, bring to the local autocross, bring to the BMW Street Survival School. That'll be critical for Josh as a good learning point for him going in as a start. Bring it to track nights in America, Evolution School as you get faster. learn on a low power street tire car that's legal and small. Like just like Jeff said, get a Miata or a Civic or something like that.
Or a Fit. Doesn't Steve have a Fit laying around still?
He used to years ago, but you know how Steve is. He changes cars like underwear. So something like
Once
that
a
is
month?
what you need.
Yikes.
I know, right?
Ew.
That's
Ew.
going to get you toward the goals you have. I mean, Steve, we love you, Steve, but sometimes you go for the cheap option instead of the good option just because it's cheap. Not even that it's right. So don't cheap out on this one. You can still find cheap cars, but that's not the right one.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You can still, there are plenty of all of those things that we listed for that kind of money. I also agree. I drove on the road a car that didn't belong on the road that was built for a racetrack, and it was miserable. So I think that was my yellow E-prepared rabbit. So I'm in agreement. Hella terrible is what it is. I think, just learn to drive a car. Get a car that is useful in other things. Buying just a prepared caged car makes it so that's all you could use it for. So get something you don't already have, and then you can use it for the street and on the racetrack or whatever, a racetrack type
He
thing.
needs a street car anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he
Right?
has one. They got him this like $600 Lexus LS on coilovers from somebody on GRM.
Done.
So
Well, use that.
Done.
you
Yeah,
could, but it's
exactly.
gonna be, you're not going to learn as much in that as you're on the Miata, really, or
Sure.
something lighter.
He did mention he's got a bent framed Miata or someplace kicking
Yeah.
Well,
around.
he had an NA
Also with-
Miata. It doesn't
yeah.
have that anymore.
No, he sold those all before he moved to
Oh, okay.
Georgia.
Yeah,
but he
that
just
was
bought
my
one for like $300 with
That one.
bent frame and no title. And I don't think he's going to get that to
Makes it a
here.
little bit harder.
No,
It's a great parts car,
okay.
though. So, but
Yeah.
there's still plenty of Miatas around to do this with,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Civic, or whatever. There's so many things
Especially
that are going
in
to be better.
Atlanta.
Right.
There's, yeah.
Rest.
And I'm gonna.
Bensel, have you
I'm gonna-
chimed in yet? Go ahead.
No, and so you can guess where I'm going with this is also but terrible. In 2 years, this would be a hella sweet idea. Yeah, go buy this dead nuts reliable car, and then you and the boy and a couple of your friends go out and have a great time racing a rock solid Class C car. But right now you're saying you wanted to learn car control without learning how to shift, and Chris touched on this. Shifting is part of car control. I would relate it to learning to play the piano without learning to read music. It can be done, but you're just making it so much harder. So learn to shift. It's a basic. It's like turning and braking. Then you're going to get into car control. And I would argue, and people here would argue with me, but I say I shift pretty well. I'm still learning car control. So that being said, if you're already in lemons and you're listening to this, if you guys are already in lemons and you want to cut your teeth on endurance racing, this car is actually a really good deal. So we do. We've got the link on our show notes. And no, you are not going to go out there and be, Class A superstars, but you are going to learn a lot about this series. You're going to have a great time. You are going to get more giggles out of it than money you're going to put into it. And when it blows up, chop it up with a hacksaw and go on to your next project. So yeah, go more experienced teams that are looking for a car. Look at this link. It's in our show notes.
Like if Bill and company were like last year, I would say, Bill, just go buy this. You probably have it on you.
True.
Just get it. And then some of the newer drivers in your team can take it. It's an automatic. Fine.
Wait. Can we stop right there? Bill, do not go buy this.
Right? So
You
you're
have
like egging him
too many
on.
That's why I said.
already.
I said,
And he has
a-
room, so-
I said a year ago.
No, it doesn't matter. He
Yeah,
didn't
but
hear
Bill's
that.
not going
All
to hear
he
that.
heard was,
He
Bill,
just turned on
Bill
the
buy
podcast and
race
was like,
Bill.
right?
Yeah, Bill buy race car. Bill must go buy race car.
Yeah, he turned off the podcast and was like, all right, done. Chris stopped before we said,
Chris
don't
said I should go buy another car. I'll go buy
No.
another car.
do not.
Do not
Meanwhile-
buy another car, Bill.
Texting him going, that's not what he said, Bill. That's not what he said.
Did we even get to say hi to Chrissy? Hi, Chrissy. How was your flight?
My travel for both getting to Nashville and home were awful. Like so Philadelphia airport was closed. So they delayed the flight. They canceled a whole bunch of other ones. Every up and down the eastern seaboard they were all canceled. Anywhere from New York, Connecticut, Boston, Baltimore,
I'm
all
looking
closed.
forward to my flight tomorrow. This should be
Oh,
fun.
well, it'd be fine
It
if
was
it's not
just- it was
raining. So
thunderstorms,
the
like
storm
big
that
batch
came
of
through.
thunderstorms.
All the people that got bumped will be on my flight now.
Oh yeah, because I almost
Yeah.
was there. Like I
Yeah.
Angry
absolutely.
and sleepy.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the-
So It was supposed to be an hour and a half or 2-hour flight, and I spent 2 hours on the tarmac. And I got on the plane, got off the plane, waited around, hoping that they would actually let us go. They did. We waited on the tarmac again. Then we flew, and then we waited on the tarmac again because there was no spots for us in Philadelphia because all of the flights were delayed. And then it took an hour and a half to get my bags. So and my one bag only has 3 wheels. So it is literally actually 50 pounds.
Why does your bag only have 3 wheels?
Because one wheel broke when I got to Nashville. Oh. So I have to now carry around. I just kind of drag it sadly, kind of
like a defiant dog. Dragging to the airport.
For a while, I was gonna make it, and then it got later and later, and then I was like, nothing is going right for me today.
Oh, but you did make it, and now the show's so much better.
Oh, that's good. Did you see the picture that I put in the notes?
Oh, yes. We made fun of those clowns for a good 10 minutes.
Well, we had a good time. I mean, we made a racing theme. It was kind of an idea that Chris and I came up with, and then I sold it to my team and sold it to the rest of the team, and everybody loved it. So it went over really well.
We just like that the only person not wearing racing stuff from Party City is actually the only race car driver in that photo.
It's true. I didn't have it on at that point, but we did have really awesome, that green and black shirt that I have on. The whole team got shirts that says AmeriGas Racing on it. So it's fun. It was a nice time. People were like, is that your helmet? What? So there were different themes at this thing. I won't take over too much of the time, but there was different themes, and somebody else was like cowboys. So they were wearing their cowboy hats. And it was a quick decision that Chris and I were talking on at breakfast on Sunday morning. And I was like, should I bring my racing helmet? He's like, bring the helmet. And so when people are wearing,
always bring the helmet.
They were wearing cowboy hats because there was a cowboy theme in a different room. So I'm walking around in my helmet, and they're like, that's badass. So so it ended up being really good. It was one of those live in a Marriott convention center the event space center for 3 days, and I was doing a lot of logistics, but I was also presenting. So it was a lot. It was a lot. But now it's time to go racing. So woo!
Yeah.
Well, hey, Chrissy, on that happy note, why don't you give us the next show promo?
Oh, I like this thing. I know how to say it, but why do I need to? How to pronounce?
Oh, that was totally for me.
Let's go canoeing and Chargagagag and Chagagag Magungagungamog. Something. It's pretty close. Anyway, whatever. It's close. Okay. So we raced.
Thompson race. It's a Thompson race.
He drinks a lager drink. He drinks a cider drink. He drinks a vodka drink.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch that video. Go on YouTube and look up Thompson. I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah. Well, Jeff and I are on the front cover of it. Okay, anyway, so we raced at. Hopefully, we're going to race at Thompson. So we're going to be talking about Thompson next show. Hopefully, it's called the Hangover Show. Share your experiences. If you can't make it, watch our social media. We will try to be as active as possible. We'll probably do some live on there. And if you're head of the race, stop over, say hi. We're having a big cookout on Saturday. So if you don't forget, bring some food, please. And
wait. I clicked the link. This is not even close.
That's not right.
That's not even close.
No, it's not. Anyway, so Saturday, hit us up. And if you leave us a review, then we'll give you a sticker. How about that?
Do we have stickers to bring?
Yeah,
we do.
We do.
Right,
I'll bring some. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, we got stickers.
Bring it.
Fantastic.
Is it time to get off of here? We have nothing else to cover.
Nothing else to go to the order.
I gotta move from one speaker to the other.
Put it on your get on your bingo card.
Oh yeah, I just closed mine. I didn't have it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's all wiener edition until the very end of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. It's coming on like 6 months since someone has given us an iTunes rating. Go to iTunes, give us a rating. Hello.
We'll give you a beer, Thompson. Come on.
Look, even if you don't like us, go to iTunes. Tell us why. As long as you give us 5 stars. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram or Twitter at everyone.racers. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up unless there is no shiny side, then just keep the wheels down.